Yes, sir. Yeah. He just
What, man?
killed the whole vibe already.
Man, shut up.
Yeah, dang, man. You got your clipboard out. You ain't got to make plays right now, man.
Man, leave me alone. Let's get started, man. Don't start with that.
Oh, man. We're back. Episode 4, Bridgin The Gap Podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with our crazy ass. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I feel like I'm held hostage.
Come on, man. You was late too, man. On top of that, if anybody knows Coach King, if you show up just a few minutes late, he gonna give you a lecture. He gonna a little.
Come on,
depending on who you are, it's gonna be passive aggressive. He gonna make sure you cool.
Passive aggressive.
But he gonna be like, look, man, you know, I had to go through this before. It happened 5-10 years ago before this and this happened. So make sure you're here. He had us waiting 30 minutes. How long we here, Zaheb? Zaheb is our camera guy from Collective. 4 hours.
So don't
4 hours.
Don't co-sign that. Everybody knows I'm still a little sick. And so, yeah, you can hear it in my voice. It's a little nasal, you know. And so now 3 weeks, man. Dang. I don't have to give the world my medical diagnosis. I'm just saying I was sick.
Man. Yo.
Man, so I'm not as fast as I used to be. And I had some things I had to take care of.
Man, these old heads, these old heads, man, with their excuses, man. Dang. Yeah. If y'all are just joining in for the first time, we're not all, this is love. This is our love language. We don't hate each other. This is love. This is all good. This is my OG. He was my high school coach. Now he's my international business partner, mentor, family, all that good stuff. You know, that's Julian King. I'm Ryan Yates. We are here in Dubai, right? And you can't tell from right here, but we're in Dubai. You know, we've been here going on 2 years now, building a basketball bridge.
3 years, man.
3 years?
3 years, man. 2019.
I mean, the year not over yet. I just, you know, we got to be careful what we look forward to. We learned that already, right? 2 years going on 3, building a basketball brand, Hoop Mountain Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB on Instagram, hoopmountain.ae online. And there's a new website out right now. So let me find that. Let me see. Round of applause. Man, we've been through, this is our 3rd website. And it's been a lot of building.
No. Let's get it right. Our 2nd website. That first one, that wasn't even a website.
Man. Woo. Woo. And this digital age, you know, entrepreneurship and everything that you're learning, all those things matter. Like, you know, back in the day, if you didn't want to have to, you know, revert to the digital stuff, you didn't have to. You know, you can go hand to hand and get it right. But now your digital footprint is important. So, you know, we took some time to get it right. And man, am I happy to be done with them damn calls. Man, having to build that from head to toe. Every word, every color, every line, every space, headache. But it's there.
Cry me a river, man. You ain't going through all those invoices like I was going through.
Listen.
I can start rebuilding my sight, my vision back now. I'm struggling looking at all that stuff.
No, that's real. That's real. But if you guys are here, know that our platform that we put together is like a diary for us, a journal. Coach and I, we are here. It's a relationship. I know him since I was 15. You know, we don't want to put numbers on it, right? But we've been through the fire together, through different things, and our journey led us to Dubai to build a business together, surrounded around basketball. So this podcast was really a way for us to talk the way we talk and have been talking in the car since I was 14, after games, after practice, and show it and share it, because we don't get people.
You just said I've known you since you was 15, so now you said since it was 14.
Yeah, you know, it's in between, right? You know, 9th grade. My birthday's in February, so I probably met you when I was 14, but 3 months to 15. You know, something like that.
It's probably like 25 when I first met you.
Man, nah, it's not. I don't have a basketball sport age. No, but you know, this is a different space. You know, he's 20 years my senior, and we don't have enough moments where our OGs can sit and talk with us and hear us out. Like, it's a real conversation. I will say I earned that right, though. You know, I had to sit a lot for a long time, over a decade, not being able to say nothing and just listening. And now, you know, we here, we can kick the bucket. What's they say, kick the shit to that?
So you never had a voice?
Man, listen, come on, man. We know it's...
Remember, I took a lot of flack from certain people saying, you let Ryan Yates get away with everything. Look, I mean,
that's me shooting the ball. That ain't got nothing to do with
everything.
No, man.
Why is Ryan Yates not in study hall?
That's because I had 3.9.
Right.
That wasn't me getting away.
But people were getting on me about that, though. They're thinking that you was getting special privileges.
You was soft. That's what it was. You worried about what they think?
Nah, trust me, it was affecting my job. You know, I can care less. You know that. But when it's coming from the top, superintendent, what can you do?
People always got something to say. And they don't know the full story, right?
They don't have a clue.
But what we here now to do is talk basketball, talk life, you know, and share both perspectives and, you know, give everybody a chance to, you know, look at some things a little bit different. Give balance to what's already been put out there. There's a lot of stuff out there that's, you know, kind of garbage. So we trying to bring some balance to the situation.
So quickly.
I'm throwing them out.
Throw that term around. You know,
it's real though. My boys told us we was being too PC. And it was like, listen, the people that come out with the fraud stuff, they don't care. Y'all out here playing it safe, and we need y'all to be authentic and go ahead. So here we are now. How you feeling, though, OG?
I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better.
Man,
my medicine's kicking in for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and just for those of you who know, like Saturday night, me and the youngsters gave Coach Ryan a beating that he hadn't had in a while. And you hear my voice a little bit, I'm still, you know, from yelling all day. And we beat him into submission. He quit. Man. I ain't playing no more with them. They ain't come to play. Listen, I've never seen you act like that.
Listen, we played 2 games. Y'all won 2 games, man. Listen, we played 2 games.
And you quit.
We had to let the kids play 3-on-3.
You quit.
We had to let them have a moment. It was a teaching moment for them.
You quit.
You know, I almost choked one of them. That's when I had to remember. My competitive nature is a little bit different. We're still trying to, you know, rub that Dubai, what is it called? Dubai, I don't know, I don't want to call it stench, but that Dubai comfort zone off the kids a little bit, because they just be chilling, acting like
stench and comfort are 2 different.
Yeah. You know, I'm thinking of Pusha T when he told Drake. That's what I'm thinking of. The stench is still on it, but you know they still got that comfort joint where they just be chilling. Like you turn the ball over, let's get back. Like let's move. Let's have a sense of urgency. I'm trying to win.
I mean, but they're probably like in shock because you're yelling at them so much.
Man, I don't care. Suck it up. Tired of it. Yeah. You know, you got a couple wins. You got 2 wins. So
I actually got 3, and then you quit, and I said I might as well quit then.
Yeah, nah, you got a little. The AC was rocking in the gym, so you know when you get a sub and you gotta sit, them joints don't loosen up like they used to. They get crazy. It's all right. You 3-11. You know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Only as good as your last game.
Yeah, right. I hear you. But you know what they say. You live to fight another day. So we shall see.
That's right.
We shall see. But it sounds like you're good health.
Yeah. In there, yeah.
I mean, I gotta tell you the truth, man. I need to wild out.
What you mean?
I just need, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, we come from, you know how our lives has been, right? Like the basketball, the travel, the experiences we've had, what we've been able to do, places we've been able to go, and just the fun we've been able to have with, you know, the access you get from being a basketball player and then going to college and seeing things and have different friends. Like, I'm ready to go do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been work. I'm ready to go do something. I'll jump out of a plane. You know what I'm saying? Go do something, you know, like jet ski, whatever. Like, go feed some tigers. Like, I'm about ready for some action. And we in Dubai, to where you literally can do every one of those things.
Yeah, you could do this
like around the corner.
But see, I'm past that, you know. I'm just work, sit at home, read a book, listen to some music, you know, chill out. I don't need all that stuff.
You're a damn lie, man. Sit here, lie. Sit, look. That's your camera right there. Go ahead, look into that camera right there.
Thrill seeker over here. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, look into that camera right there. And I'm telling you, I'm going to put this up and I'm going to pass it out and I'm going to ask the people that know you,
And they're gonna be like, yeah, JK has always been well reserved.
Listen, numerous times, and it's it's documented. I come in here and say every time I used to call you using a different part of the country or a different part of the world.
I'm relaxing. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I seen you whitewater rafting. I seen you doing I seen the pictures.
Come on,
I seen.
People
you know what?
Photoshop that stuff.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay.
You're gonna set me up for something. You're gonna make up some stuff. Say that's me.
I'm not gonna make up anything.
Yeah, some middle-aged, overweight black dude out there say that's me.
Hey, I got pictures. I got pictures. But for real though, I need some action. You know what I'm saying? I need to do something. I'm out here losing my mind. Being too focused and too locked in. I need some balance. I hear you. One thing I'm definitely thinking about doing is something real irresponsible.
What?
Saying F it to bills in America.
Oh yeah, that's been rotating in my mental Rolodex for 15, 20 years now. Yeah. But you got to make sure you're in a space where you don't have to go back.
Listen, I'm sitting here looking at it, right? And I'm like, all right, which one of these things really matter? And I'm not high on the government's list for anything, for anybody, I think taxes is already paid and all that good stuff. What's a little $100 here that I don't pay to them? What they gonna do? Come extradite me from Dubai because I ain't pay $100 bill?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna save that for myself and I'm gonna have a little fun. Look, rent here is paid for. The air is on, the water is on, electricity is on. Man, let me trick it off the rest of these next 2 months, right? Like,
irresponsible.
What you gonna do, America? What we gonna do, man? No, not too bad. But let's get into what we're here to talk about, though, right? We're talking basketball. Zahib, move your back a little bit. So, first off, our Hoop Stars. We had our HoopStar Shootout, and that was interesting. How do you feel like that went?
I think it went well because we had a lot of kids that hadn't had a chance to play in that type of environment before, where it's close quarters with parents right there next to the court, almost as if they have courtside seats at a NBA game, and we had fast-paced games where we had both we made sure we subbed the right way, where we had equal talent on the floor, and kids got after it. Kids got emotional. Kids were up and down in terms of like happy one moment, sad the next moment, and a lot of life lessons to be learned that day in terms of playing sports. But I think it went really well.
Yeah,
I think it went really well.
Yeah, I just got the images and the videos from the event, and this week, we got over 500 pictures and 300 videos. So I'm going to use all that content probably for the next 3 months. But when the parents get to see what we put together and that just the faces, the one thing about pictures is they tell a story that sometimes you can't understand through words. And man, there was a lot of happy faces out there, a lot of enjoyment, every emotion possible was being felt. One of the, like you said, a lot of lessons.
Yeah.
One thing that we talked about at the end of the shootout, as we had our talk with the kids, was for most of our kids, this is the first time they go through adversity.
Right.
Right. Like Dubai is a different space. Dubai is amazing because kids can be kids. Right. Like they don't have to worry about a lot of the things we worried about. They just be kids. But what it also means is they have to get their life lessons in different ways.
Elsewhere.
More healthy ways, which is a blessing.
Right.
But they got to get them somewhere. And so now when they're, with a group of people, around a lot of people, whether they fail or succeed in front of them, they have to deal with that and how that makes them feel. Some of them want to run away. Some of them don't know how to react. So, that was dope. That's why we do this, right?
Right.
So we can teach them those lessons.
And they got to play. And they can't just come and just train twice a week. You got to play.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to apply what you've learned in a game atmosphere and see where you are. That's a true judge of, where you've come as a player and where you're going to go.
Mm-hmm. And it helps us with coaching and training so much more. Because now they understand what game speed is.
Right.
I'm saying game and having an imagination.
A little more, after you turn the ball over 2 or 3 times, now you're a little more attentive in practice when coach is teaching you ball protection and things like that. So yeah, it was definitely good, especially for the younger group.
Yes, and that's like the most important, right? Because we got to keep them in there
for the future.
Yeah, keep them growing. So shout out to our Hoop Stars and our Hoop Stars parents. Thank you for riding with us.
Right.
They look through thick and thin, through changes, through issues with back channel stuff. They're still around.
Right.
So thank you guys. Can't wait until you guys see these pictures and videos. NBA. Now, right now, on the top of the league, record-wise, are the Wizards and the Warriors. At least, as of today, on which we're recording, the Wizards and Warriors. Now, every day that I look at YouTube to catch up with First Take or the NBA TV or anything, all I hear about is the Warriors. Why is nobody talking about the Wizards? I mean, they're top in the East. They're killing it, right? Why is no energy and no love for the Wizards? Like I'm saying, they doing their thing. It's like 9-3 last time I looked, right? Making things happen, got some solid wins.
Because everybody knows.
What they know, man?
It's Fugazi. you know it's Fugazi.
One shot hole.
Come on, man.
One shot hole.
Let's see. It's November now. Mid-February, they'll be back to normal.
It is early, ain't it?
Early.
It's November.
People are still trying to work out certain things, There's a lot of issues with some of the East Coast teams right now. And the Wizards are doing what they're supposed to do. They're taking advantage of that and stacking up wins. Supposed to do that, but come on, we all know, man.
That we can't give them like some credit.
Stop, man. Stop. Don't.
I'm saying,
What credit you gonna give them?
I'm saying.
I know what it is. The Warriors are on top of the league. Wizards are on top of the East, right? Right. Both teams start with the letter W. So that's
the only correlation.
That's what they have in common. Okay, stop playing, man.
That's the only correlation. So they saying the Warriors got a chance to win it all. The Wizards ain't got that chance. They ain't got no Eastern Conference Finals aspirations, like none of that.
Come on, man.
Man, I mean, somebody.
Would it be nice to see them? Yeah, it'd be nice.
I put up your video saying that Bradley Beal was going to dip. And people was like, that don't even make sense. Wizards fans, real Wizards fans, like, that don't even make sense. Like, Bradley Beal's been up here saying, I love DC. I want to be here. I want to make it happen here.
Bradley Beal's a great PR person. Come on, man. You let them stop dropping some games and he'll be back. He'll be miserable again. People forget about that.
He got Kuzma and Dinwiddie now and Harrell. You know what I'm saying?
Don't get me wrong. They upgraded.
Yeah.
For sure, but
KCP.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're gonna all right, so where the Wizards finishing then? And right now, as of November, with both of those teams, the Warriors and the Wizards at the top of the conferences, where do you see them finishing come April?
I can see them getting the 7th or 8th spot.
Ooh, okay.
Because
so they play in bound.
Yeah, everybody else is gonna right the ship before long.
Yeah.
James Harden is slowly getting back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Milwaukee and Atlanta still.
They're gonna get it together.
Yeah.
Trae Young just had 42 tonight.
Yeah.
The other guy's gonna catch up and get it going. Trust me.
7 or 8 seed for the Wizards. What about the Warriors? Top 5.
They're definitely in the West. They're definitely going to be a top 4 seed for sure.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, easily. I mean, I don't see them dropping. I don't see them falling off the cliff, but they'll slow down soon. Once everybody kind of gets into a groove, because a lot of teams are experimenting right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys are injured, and it's too early to rush people back.
It is very early.
So.
Well, I mean, the Lakers, we just got a W against the Spurs, and I watched the highlights. THT is back.
Oh, really?
Yes, and he's back in the starting lineup too, which I like. He adds a different dimension. I can't wait to see when Nunn is back as well, and when Ariza comes back and we're fully healthy. Last night was good because AD was assertive and aggressive. He had 27 and like 15 in the first half, right? So that's the same shit we talk about. You showing us that you can do it. Why are you picking your time and day? maybe like everybody else, it's early, pacing yourself, whatever, because you're that good. But but I do feel good about where we're heading though, because I like the fact that Melo is caught a rhythm early in the year, and that Monk has got it together as well. And Wade Ellington hit like 6 threes. The only thing for me, as it always has been, is AD. If AD is solid, even with everything else around him, we're good. And Bron gonna be Bron.
Well, it's always made me wonder, when LeBron isn't playing, AD should just go in beast mode anyway. Just because he wants to assert himself and say that that I am an alpha male. I am the leader. I am one of the better players in the league. And it's about that time anyway where he's supposed to carry them through the season and be vying for MVP. And then in the finals, that's when he still does his thing. But LeBron comes in and, is able to put the, icing on the cake. And, but he's got to do it,
That's it.
Yeah, and there's nothing holding him back except him. And
you talk about the MVP race, right? Right now, number 1 is KD. Steph is 2. Joker is 3. And then rounding off the top 5 is PG and DeRozan.
PG.
Right. But like you said, right now with the situation the Lakers are in, and with LeBron hurt and LeBron pacing himself through the year anyway, AD should be top 3 all year. He should be going between 1, 2, and 3 all year of MVP conversation and Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Right. It shouldn't even be a question. It should have been like automatically dropped in there. But we don't know. That's the next step in your career. You should be an MVP player right now. Like, it should be no question that you're the best in the league, or at least the best player on the best team, because we know not the best player always gets the MVP.
Right.
But, but we got time though. It's November. And I never jump ship. I'm still sticking with it. We winning the chip. We winning all of it. I'm still there. I'm just, I just see better days, right? With that said, who do you think is going to be MVP out of that 5? I like the fact that PG is getting some love because he is doing his thing. He remind me of Pippen that year that Pippen played without MJ.
Yeah. It's Joker, PG.
DeRozan is
DeRozan, okay.
Because the Bulls have been killing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going easy money.
Yeah.
It just looks too easy. Come on, man.
You talk about nicknames a lot. Where you putting Easy Money Sniper at? That's up there? Yeah.
For sure.
That's smooth. It fit perfectly, too.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
I liked his old name, too, because he just covered a lot of space whenever he decided. Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to think about
Slim Reaper.
It's like, he's got. See, when you got multiple nicknames like that means you're a bad man.
Yeah, Cold Killer Walk.
That's
man. For sure. Speaking of bad men, Scottie Pippen has been on a nice press run. This wasn't even on the docket, but you like to talk about the old head stuff. And, you in that era. Scottie said, I'm just as great as Mike. Right? He said, I'm just as great as Mike. I mean, there's some, he was great, right? Top 50 all time. You know what I'm saying? Like, Scottie trying to sell that book, maybe.
Man, we get it. We get it. You're trying to sell a book. All right, you got to create a buzz, whether it's negative publicity, positive publicity, whatever. Publicity sells, right? But come on, man.
No, it's not. You taking it light. This is your era, right? Man. Not only did Scottie say I'm just as great, right? Scottie said, look, you seen 1 million people play with the flu ever since that damn flu game, but you ain't seen nobody play with back spasms like I had.
Yeah, I didn't know he said that. Man.
Hey.
Oh, like
Scottie said stop playing, but you lived that era though. Like what is really going on between them two?
Listen, man, you ever heard a thing called midlife crisis? Listen, man, the man is going through a lot, you know what I'm saying? Evidently there might be some money issues there. We've heard rumors about it, we don't know. And we know there's some relationship issues there was it Larsa?
No, listen. I'm talking about with Scottie and Mike.
I'm leading up to that, man. Like all this stuff can affect your sense of reality.
So you telling me that Future the reason why he going down this spiral?
Man, it could be, man. Like he ain't been the same since.
Yeah, you ain't been the same. You know what I'm saying?
Scottie ain't never said anything like this publicly before.
And he got braids.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. That's
Hey, listen. Hey, ever since Future said, he did what he did in the Gucci flip-flops, Scottie ain't looked the same since. Man. Scottie on the world tour trying to tell us MJ ain't Black Jesus.
Man, MJ is Black Jesus, White Jesus, Blue Jesus, Green Jesus, Pink Jesus. Come on, man. Purple Jesus.
Look.
You just can't.
Black cat.
It's not even close in terms of him and Pippen. He, of course, Pippen was a number 5 pick, a sleeper pick,
He did great. He had a great story on his own right coming out of Central Arkansas.
Sure.
Like,
but once he got to the league, he had some moments where people were questioning him. And Mike took it upon himself to say, we're only going to go as far as Scottie helps us to go. And took him under his wing and helped him grow, man. So you should never say anything negative about Mike. We don't even hear about Mike saying anything.
The worst part is, it's like Scottie. We got footage of everything.
Yeah.
We this ain't like Wilton, nothing like Scottie. We literally we see this man, right? We see the Jordan logo. We got all the highlights. We got all the footage. We got everything. Like we see you, Scottie. We see you, and that's just me. You saw it. You lived it. You watched the morning show the next day. You heard all the commentary. Like it was there. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when you gotta, when walls around you start crumbling. Sometimes you get out of character.
What walls you talking about?
I'm just like, your family, significant other, finances behind you, so-called friends. Come on, man.
Man.
You start realizing that in your downtimes, like who's really got my back.
Man, listen. Future, man. You did that man dirty.
No, she did him dirty. Future didn't do anything wrong.
Scottie ain't been the same shit. Scottie said, I'm just as great as MJ. Lord have mercy.
Now, if he'd have said, like, I feel like I don't get enough credit, that'd been a different story.
I think he did say something similar to that.
Well, but you throw it all out the window when you say I'm just as good as MJ.
He said, matter of fact, he thought he hit something profound too. He said, look, would Mike be just as great without me?
Yep. Yep.
Is just it?
Yep.
Halas. That's it. That's nothing.
Come on, man.
Man, nah, that's funny. Okay. Scottie, you're going to be all right, man. You great. We would read the book if you hadn't said nothing about MJ. Look, we would love to hear a Scottie book. You got stories?
Because we want to hear a different perspective of what went on during those times.
Man, you from Central Arkansas. Whatever story you got is just as intriguing, man. We don't need you to say anything about MJ, though. So now we go into our next space. I'm going to let you jump into this so I can get my thoughts together, right? Luke Walton. How is he still an NBA coach?
Let's just say he's got good lineage. Got a good agent. And, he has, he's done a good job of getting close to the right people, and, we've seen in different aspects of our lives and in different careers, and where some people, you're just like, dang, how does that guy keep a job when someone else would have, gotten the axe by now, but that person's got to end somewhere. And all you need is one person in a powerful place to believe in you. And, you have a longer leash than somebody else would. And, the funny thing is because he's so young, he will get another shot if he were to get acts from Sacramento. He's getting a shot because he's so young, you know, and he can go in, you know, he's got the Golden State Warriors on his resume and, you know,
Lakers.
And he can go in and, you know, he can sell himself. You know, if you can't sell yourself, you know, you have a hard time getting jobs and keeping jobs.
What does he do though? Like, why is he a coach? Period. Like I'm just sitting here looking like, what does Luke Walton do? Like, why do you bring Luke Walton onto a team?
Well, guys like the great Kobe Bryant said he would be a good coach. You know, so you got that type of, you know, backing. That goes a long way, man. So if Kobe said it, other people probably said it, you know, and they see something in him, you know.
We're talking about what you could be. That's potential, right? But we've had years to see, like, actually look at what he's doing in Sacramento right now, right? De'Aaron Fox is definitely an all-star level talent, transformative type of player. I mean, but we barely pay any attention to him. Part of it is because Sacramento is a small market too.
No, cut that, because Sacramento's been big time before.
True. I'll give him some love. But I'm saying I'm attributing a lot of it to him playing under Luke Walton.
Right.
I mean, Marvin Bagley right now, I watched a video of him refusing to go in. And even when he didn't go in, I watched the reaction of his teammates and some of the assistant coaches. And I don't know the full story of why he didn't or anything, but you can tell when your teammates are looking at you like, yo, he tripping. That wasn't the case with his teammates. You know, he sat down, his teammates were still dapping him up, talking to him, chilling. And then you hear Luke Walton say things like, you know, he got to just, you know, be ready to come and play, blah, 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 blah. But I remember watching Brandon Ingram struggle, Jordan Clarkson struggle, Julius Randle struggle, right? D'Lo struggle. Even Lonzo and those guys struggle under Luke Walton. When they got, I don't know what it is he got going on, but it's dangerous. Marvin Bagley's career is in his hands. And he's still there. De'Aaron Fox career in his hands. Now those guys got Rico Hines and those, you know, and Doug Christie there to be kind of in their ear and keeping them going.
Right.
And hopefully they're still getting their work in. But Luke Walton, man, he should have been axed out and gone.
How many years has he been there?
This might be 4. 3 or 4.
It's got to be. How many years has LeBron been in L.A.?
Oh, this is like 4.
Okay, so he's been there 3 for sure.
3, yeah.
Because his first year was with Luke, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well. But Sacramento, as of late, they've done some crazy things. Remember, Vlade Divac, the great Vlade, was a GM, and
Vlade was tripping.
He had some questionable moves, man.
Vlade was tripping.
You know, so
that's for sure.
I don't know. Like I said, it's, you know, who you know a lot of times, who you are a lot of the times, and how you can sell yourself. I'm just, you know how it is.
Luke terrible, man. You gotta find a way to get that clean. Like, he need to go. You know, when you look at stuff like Dwayne Casey getting fired from Toronto after winning Coach of the Year, right? You look at stuff like that, and then you watch somebody like Luke underachieve and just go on the coattails of basically a well-oiled machine to where all he had to do was just sit down in the driver's seat. The car was going to drive itself. And then, you know.
Well, it's hard to adjust sometimes when you had the amount of success he had with Golden State was ridiculous. And so sometimes you think you can duplicate that style of play, but you don't have those type of players.
Bro, who we fooling, though? Who we fooling?
What?
Everybody knew that success there had jack shit to do with Luke Walton. Just keep it a bean.
No, but I'm saying, but we don't know what he was thinking, though. Yeah. He may have thinking that's the way we're going to play in L.A.
Well, I'm not even, you know, us as players, we're delusional sometimes, right? Coaches have egos.
Yeah.
It's not his decision to hire himself. That's what I'm saying. Like, who you fooling? You had nothing to do with that success there. I'm looking at it like, why are you hiring him?
You just said you don't hire yourself. But people in those positions sometimes get caught up in the hype and think that, oh man, he was there when they had that type of success. He can bring that here and elevate us. They don't know.
That's why we need basketball people. That's why Chuck be yelling at them analytics people all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. So now we here. Yep. Somebody need to start a campaign for Luke, man, to get him out of there. You know, like, if you want me to start it, I'll start it. Luke, get it together. And you ain't one of them that we worried about losing your livelihood and putting food on the table. I watched you play with my leg show, so I know you good. You a Walton or two on top of that. Like, it's time to, bring in some new frontiers. But right now is a good time of the year. It was my favorite time of the year. A few years ago, it was college basketball season. College basketball season is back. And unlike the last year and a half, 2 years, it's in full effect. You can smell it. I can feel it. Once the weather starts to change, it's a little colder, right? It's like, it's that 6 a.m. go to practice with the sun still down. It's dark outside. Everybody got to bundle up. And then it's time to get those wins in. So it's going to be fun to watch this year.
I don't know. I ain't staying up that late.
I'm gonna catch the reruns on YouTube. but actually, a lot of those games we're gonna be able to catch because they got the holiday season games, and when they'll be playing those, it'll be like 11 o'clock here and all that other type stuff. So, but it's gonna be fun because we got guys like Hunter Dickinson who we've watched grow up from a young pup.
Sitting on our bench.
Yeah, from a young pup who is a Naismith Watch for Player of the Year. Straight from the DMV at Michigan. We got Imani Bates at Memphis. And he reclassified up to go to school early because he's only 17 right now playing at Memphis. Him and another freshman came in and were classified up. You got Trevor Kills and I think his name is Paolo, a guy from out of Washington, I believe. Freshman, killers. Trevor Kills is from the DMV. Killers at Duke, and I'm a UNC fan, so I don't even like giving them the love like that. But it's gonna be fun to watch, and we're definitely gonna cover it. We're gonna keep an eye on that because college basketball is when the game is still pure. It's when it's still love. Like the atmosphere is still, fan crazy. It's real intimate with stuff. Now that the business has gotten into it, money is involved, but it's still nothing like those college games.
Right.
Nothing like it.
Yeah, that you can't duplicate the college campus environment on a big Monday or something like that when it's a rivalry within the league or just two powerhouse teams meeting up, on national television. You just can't duplicate that, man, with students camping out on the grounds, the night before trying to get tickets. Mm-hmm. Nothing like that energy, man.
And that happens on every level too.
Yep.
They're like, we look at kids, sometimes they say they're going to go play at a university. They say uni in the UK. And we like, man, like, y'all missing out. That British weather and that London weather, it's cold, gloomy. That basketball ain't the same, man. Whatever sport you're playing, different energy. You got to get a little glimpse of that. We're going to try to share it. Paige and Fudd. Paige Brukers in UConn. She's partnered up with AC Fudd. Now, 3 years of that action there. Women's basketball is in for, whew. Now, you've seen Fudd play, and you've actually been around her for her development. What type of firepower is that?
Man, UConn's had so many great players, but this could be something like we've never seen before, man. Like, it's just, you're just talking about just walking buckets. Just walking. We're talking about shot is drip, handle on a yo-yo. I mean, just those two together, man, it's going to be crazy. And they like each, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
they family.
They're cool, you know what I mean? So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's really going to be crazy.
Yeah. It's dope to see that Gino is still kicking it. He's still around. Because, we taking college basketball on the men's side without Coach K. Right? Yeah. Like, it's Boeheim next. Like, we get.
Boeheim should have been gone, man. But, his son.
Yeah.
His son is still there.
His son was getting busy, too.
Yeah, for sure.
He was earning it. But, our greats are getting up out of there.
Yeah.
So it's great to see Gino still kicking it. But another great to watch, Don Staley. first of all, that's that cash, because if you don't know, Mrs. Don Staley just got that 22 mil extension. Well-deserved, maybe even underpaid, but she got it, for that, what she does out there in South Carolina.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Man, one of a kind.
Yeah.
One of a kind.
She's got a powerhouse women's basketball team in a football school.
Man.
In a football state.
Man.
It's crazy.
That's gangster.
Yeah.
That's gangster. But as I said, we'll cover more college basketball as the season progresses, just because we love it. It's pure. And it's something, too, for our youth here in Dubai that are paying attention, for them to get into. Because you can relate. They can relate. But one of the questions that we always have, and I have even more so now, is college athletics. The athletic directors, the unions around there, the coaches, do they do enough for college athletes to prepare them for post-graduate, post-college, post-athletics, right? And we're going to talk basketball specifically. And while we're talking, I want this to be put in perspective. Out of every high school basketball player in America, it's over 1 million, right? And that wants to go play college basketball. Only 4% goes, right? That's like 4% of all high school basketball players that dream of playing in college basketball, and that's all levels combined. Only 4% go, right? And even smaller percentage of that stay all 4 years and graduate, and then even smaller percentage actually gets to play that whole time, right? And then less than 1% go play professionally. So we got over 1 million kids, right? Only 1% of them, less than 1%, and that's just men's basketball, to get a chance to make that basketball dream an income, like their livelihood. So with that understanding, right, going in as a head coach of a program, where you're going to be leading young men, young women, do colleges really prepare or do a good enough job to prepare all athletes, not just the ones who are the best players on the team, but they do a good enough job?
I'm not going to put it all on the school or the coaching staff itself. It's a combination. I will say this, that there are a majority of schools that have things in place for the athletes to take advantage of. But that doesn't mean a damn if your coaching staff doesn't hold you accountable to push you in the right direction. Just because you're still a kid. You may be 18, you're old enough to go to war and things like that, but you're still a kid and you still need guidance. And typically if you go to a particular college, you're there because that coach recruited you, and you feel comfortable with that coach, you like that coach, or there's something in that school that drove you there, whether your family went there, you got a buddy that went there and brought it to your attention. Rarely do we go somewhere just because it's the only offer we have. You always search around, and so when you have those jobs, especially the major college coaches that get the big bucks, once you sign on a dotted line, you got your bread.
Mm-hmm.
So what's stopping you from being the person that you probably started out as, where you were just coaching for the purity of the game? It's not all about just wins and losses. Yeah. Is it a tough job? Yes. Is it a short-term job if you don't get it done? Yes. But the stakes are a little different now. Now you can sign a 5-year deal and you got generational money, generational wealth. So why not do the best job that you can for the individuals that are on your school, on your team? Because you sat in somebody's living room and you spoke to their parents and said, hey, I'm going to take care of your kid. your kid is going to have the best path forward in life being under our tutelage. And so you gotta hold strong to that word. And your staff has to be that way. And you have the resources nowadays to get it done. And too often, we get guys that heavily recruit a kid, and once that kid signs and that kid's on campus, you may see coach 5% of the time. You can't survive like that, man.
Man, and you talk about the recruiting part, right? I mean, there's so many different aspects of what you said that we're going to talk about, but the recruiting part, how much time that you sat in my living room with my mom in my small apartment. And let's keep it real. All of us who are playing basketball, right? They look like us, right? Generally first generation college kids.
Oh, parents, sure. I'm definitely first generation.
First generation college kids. Our parents didn't go for whatever other reason. Yeah. The situation of college is so much different. Even from when you went to college, to me, the whole situation was different, right? What you're risking is different. Parents don't really know. But you came in here, right? I'm underprivileged. I'm being told by everybody that college is what I need to give myself an opportunity.
Right.
And you come in here selling it. Putting on a show in my living room, right? Putting on a show saying we're going to take care of you. We understand. You see what we come through. Kyler Perry pulls up in the hood at his kids' places, right? And he already says, I'm going to make sure you get taken care of. Because he's looking right at what you're living at. 1 bedroom, 3 people living in there, 5 people. And then you still, when I get to campus, right, it's different. Energy is different. And knowing that
a guy like Calipari is a little different because
he went through,
because he understands that I'm set.
Yeah,
my family's fed,
right,
and I'm coaching a dream. I got my dream job. I'm coaching college basketball, and I'm well paid for it.
And he come from humble beginnings too.
Yeah, he worked his ass off.
Yeah, very humble beginnings.
But he understands that. What else am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to help you better yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, he said it publicly. It's not for everybody's not getting a 4-year degree right away. If you have the potential to go to the NBA, let's go there, but we're going to make sure you come back and get your degree. But he's helping kids live their dreams, man. And he's not holding them back. Now he coaches you hard, for sure. Devin Booker came off the bench.
Right.
So
and that's on a big scale, right?
Okay. And
even on a small scale, D3, D1, low D1, whatever else, when we have those moments to where, and you were able to see this, right? This is because you understood what it meant to actually be a coach, right? I've been around to where I've seen head coaches or programs be afraid of dealing with a kid who came from a background where it wasn't a stable home, right? To where that kid may have had a great week or a month of practice, but right now he's thinking it up. And it's not because he's not focused, but his mom just got locked up and he's the oldest of all the siblings, right? And he's at college and he's kind of feeling a little guilty because he can't be there to help with his siblings now, right? Or he got 3 meals in a cot to sleep in at school, but his family is back there struggling. Right. And nobody, he don't know who to trust, who to talk to, but you sold it to his parents that you're going to take care of him. But now you're kind of shying away from that part of building that individual. Right. Or you see a kid that, he's not used to somebody actually, being on campus at a PWI generally. It's a whole different space for a lot of us, right?
You need to explain that to some people, especially our listeners here. They may not know what that means.
So a PWI is a predominantly white institution, right? And majority of those colleges are predominantly white. So where we went to school, we'll probably see a bunch of different people playing at the games and coming to support us. But if you go from the hood and then go to a school that's preppy, it's waterfalls on campus. It's different, and everybody is saying hi and interacting different. You're out of your element. It's uncomfortable, and now your coach is wondering why you're not playing well, and they just throw you to the side.
Yeah.
Right? Like all of those little things matter because now you forgot about me. You left me to the side because I wasn't producing number-wise for you. So if you can't get anything out of me, you don't care about me as a person. So now I'm stuck as a kid, right? Trying to figure out how to deal with these emotions. Feel like every step from here on now is going to dictate my future, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah. And and people, there's a misconception thinking that just because you're a black coach, you have a better rapport with black players. That's not necessarily true, because you can be from a completely different background. You can look completely different. The only thing you have to really focus on is just being there, being able to communicate. I mean, and you don't have to communicate the same way, because you shouldn't talk the way your players talk. Right. That's not how you talk, but just talk to them, ask them what's going on with them. Be there to listen to them sometimes. And they just need to know that they can come talk to coach about anything. Because if you don't have an open door policy, I mean, shit, you're not a coach. I'm sorry.
Right, exactly. And then, like I said, shying away from that. Like I've seen, and even in your recruiting, right? Like I know right now, college is a business. It always has been, right? But now it's just to the forefront, right? Where people want to get enrollment up. So you got people that'll be recruiting kids to go to D3 schools, D2 schools, and don't even really have an intention of keeping those kids on the team, but cutting them, right? Or, stringing them along while they're on campus, because after a while you can't get your refund on your money. And especially as freshmen.
Yeah. Well, it's really not so much for the enrollment in terms of the coaches recruiting so many kids and that on those levels. It's called a safety net.
Well, I know from like experience sitting in some meetings at, I won't say the exact school, but they for sure were telling them, look, we want to get our enrollment up, so we want you guys to recruit more. We want you guys to have 25.
Right, but that's the institution telling the coach. I'm saying the coaches themselves. Right. You have some coaches who go out and recruit, say, you're going to hold 15 on your roster. Right. You have some coaches purposely recruit 18 and 19 because they say, you know what, I need a safety net because he may not make it past the first semester. Right. He has a legal situation right now where that we don't know what is going to unfold. Mm-hmm. So I have 18, 19 players. So if something happens, I know I'll have 15.
But they keep them a part of the program, though.
Some.
Right?
Some.
Well, I'm saying as a freshman, right, where you drag you in, knowing that you have, and part of this is just character, right? If I know that it's a possibility that I can't get you here, and I don't want to waste your time, because again, you got to look at the situation of these kids. As you said, once you sign on the dotted line, you straight, right? You bringing a kid in who, regardless of what the truth may be, basketball or whatever sport is their outlet. They may feel like they have some type of chance to do something with that. You bring them in, making them feel like they have this chance with a dream, and you know the answers to that already, but you just keep stringing them along, right? Some character issues there, what I'm saying, right? And then I know of one place where they did that, and then two weeks after, in the middle of the year, they called the school that they were rivaling with and said, hey, she's available now. But like, she's already enrolled, right? Took out the loans for a more expensive school, right? It's messed up.
I didn't say there weren't scumbags.
Yeah, big time.
Scumbags. I'll say it. Because, once you put a kid in that situation where they can't go anywhere without your permission, your release, how do you sleep at night? Because there's two things they always say. One, to be a college coach, you got to drive around the United States, travel the globe in search of the next best 15, 16, 17-year-old, right? So you're letting a teenager dictate your life. That's the way it goes. But on the flip side of that is, once you get that kid, you control his or her life for the next 10 years. 10 years. And the reason I say that
I'm going to say, talk about that, how impactful a coach can be, good or bad.
Some of the lessons that you learn from your coaches is not things that they lectured you on. Mm-hmm. It's what you see. Mm-hmm. It's the daily actions that they have, that they go about, where you pick up things where you're like, because you'll see yourself, it's almost like your parents. As you get older, you start to see yourself do things, you're like, man, my mom used to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the same thing with your coach, especially in our cases, like minorities case. You're a minority, you have a coach, a male figure, and it's your sport of choice, and it's something that you really are passionate about. So everything that this person says, you hang on to every word like it's the gospel. So you find out really quickly, excuse my French, if he's full of shit or not.
Mm-hmm.
And once you find out that he is full of BS, then your whole outlook on college life changes.
You don't trust nothing anymore.
You don't trust anybody. You start to be a little more rebellious, and that could hurt you in the long run more than it hurt him or the program. But for that coach, they have to understand that what I'm instilling in this kid right now are life lessons that this kid is going to have the next 10 years of his life. And when I say the next 10 years, I'm talking about like immediate impact on your life. Of course, things will carry on beyond that, but I'm just saying the next 10 years of your life, because, you know, if you have a dream of playing professionally, you have a dream of possibly, you know, trying to finish your degree, because we all know that sometimes the athletic schedule is so heavy that everybody can't graduate in 4 years.
Yeah.
Some people need that 5 years. Some people need 6. But you just never know what happens between the course of you signing and by the time your eligibility is running out, that, you know, you may need an extra push here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you got to find somebody who's willing to give you that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, those next 10 years could be rough, man. You know, so many college kids who don't play college athletics get out of school. I got my degree. I'm ready to conquer the world. And you realize, man, I'm making the same amount of money as this. I'm making $5,000 more than this person per year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's like the real world reality slaps you in the face that, dang, it ain't as sweet as I thought it was going to be. So now, what do you have to fall back on? You know, do you have a good foundation of somebody who taught you, you know, good, you know, daily principles to live by? You know, things to get you through rough times. You know, or are you gonna fold under pressure and you know, look for help, you know, a handout?
Right.
You know, so, you know, these college coaches, man, very influential.
Yeah.
High school coaches too.
Yeah. That leads me into the space to where it's like, do you understand what it means to be a coach?
Right.
For everybody out there, that's a coach. Like this, the same way when we're doing business and somebody's asking me about something, and then they come to me and say, so have you done the market research? Do you understand the demographic that you're trying to appeal to? Do you understand it? So when you get into the coaching world and you get into basketball specifically, where it's a certain demographic of kids that are going there, right? Regardless of if you're getting that blue blood talent or if you got the guys that are work in progress, generally they're all coming from the same places. Do you understand as a coach what it is your job really is, right? And how there is no 9 to 5 clock in, clock out hour for it. And if you do that, it's a disservice, right? I'm just watching, I'm speaking from a perspective of a kid who's seen every type of coach possible. The one that gives you any and everything, the one to where you realize, oh, he's full of shit, like you said, and it makes it hard for you to trust. Yeah. And I understand how that affects your development as a player, right? And then the way you trust and interact with other adults from there. So when you, right now, if you're talking to that next crop of coaches, what are you telling them to understand what it really means to be a coach?
Number one thing is...
yeah, that's your camera right there. Go ahead. We'll get you a solo for this one.
Shut up, man. Number one thing is knowing what your limitations are in terms of sacrifice. Because, you know, to be the best coach you can be, you have to sacrifice a lot. And a lot of times, the people who suffer the most will be your family, your friends, just because you will see yourself in certain situations where you have to do a little bit more for others in terms of having the success that you want, just because your success won't be just wins and losses. Your success will be, did number 11 that played for me 2 years ago, did he graduate from college? You know, did number 10 go on to be a successful businessman? Did number 15 go on and get a chance to play professionally? Mm-hmm. You know, did these kids get a chance? Not saying that they will achieve all their goals, but did they get a chance, an opportunity to live their dreams? Are they productive citizens in the community? Are they representative of who you are as a person, your character, your work ethic? Are they somebody that you would bring back to your team and have them around your players? That's the type of community you want to build. And you can only do that by sacrifice. I'm sorry. You can be the greatest X's and O's guy in the world. You can be the best CEO. You can manage this, man. But if you can't deal with different types of people and you're not willing to get to know them, understand them, and be willing to do on to them as you would want somebody to do on to you, you may be successful because, there are some exceptions, of course, but we're just talking about in general.
Right.
And, all the grassroots coaches, if you're coaching grassroots basketball, it's like this nowadays, because things have changed from when I was younger. Then it was my AAU coach found me by saying, I knew you screwed up 2 years in high school and you got kicked off the team for grades. But I heard you were a pretty good player. But the word also was that you'll never amount to anything because you're not consistent, you're not disciplined, and you don't take things seriously. He says, but I see something in you and I want to get you and all the other kids that were forgotten. And I want to give you guys another chance. Now he says, he used to say, doctor, I ain't taking no shit now. If I tell you to go left, you go left as fast as you can. And this guy would drive all the way from Atlanta to my house, 2 hours away, pick me up. And then on the way back, we'll scoop up 4 or 5 other dudes and stay at his crib for, a week and a half at a time, play all the top teams, sleeping on his floor, eating his food and everything. And he gave everything that he had to us for nothing. But at the end of the day, his community that he built was 200-300 players deep, going over, decades where everybody, Coach Williams, man, that's my guy. That's my, everybody had good things to say about him. Every college coach in America knew him and trusted him. He wouldn't sell them a pipe dream. And so he understood that if I truly love this game, I got to give something to the game if I want to get something back. And I don't expect anything back because it is a joy for me to be a part of the game.
Right.
So if you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not going to be that great.
And you mention it all the time to where, people are flawed, right? So you being a coach or whatever, nobody is expecting you to be Superman or a superhero. Everybody is flawed. Even some of our greatest humans, as people say,
for sure,
are flawed. But just understand that you're holding a responsibility, right? That's heavy, heavier than a win or a loss. Right? You're molding young men and young women, some who don't have the mentorship opportunity that you're giving and may never have it, right? And this is their one time to get those things right. So that's why we loved our boy for was the Netflix joint we watched. Man.
Oh, the guy in California.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Yeah. I love it.
Right? And that's why we loved him, because of the energy that he put in. How much energy he put into those guys that gave second chances. And all of them were able to go play college and do things. But he gave more. He gave more, right? And, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when he's getting invites to weddings, when he's asked to come to shows and everything, when they're doing different things, that's when he'll realize, like, yeah, this is where it is. So for me, everybody who's taking, that title and is saying they're going to coach and they're going to be in a space, like, understand and take it with pride, be accountable. The work that you have to put in to build youth, to build young men, to build young women, so that they can affect the generation after them.
Yeah.
Right.
I wear it with a great a sense of pride, man. It's like a badge of honor to have 15 other people and managers be representative of who I am.
Man.
I feel like I've already won.
Right. Right. So with that being said, I don't think college coaches and athletics are doing enough of their part. And it's like we have the resources. So that's like us checking the box. So say, hey, it's there. If they want it, they can use it. Right. But I'm not going to put no extra work for it just so you guys don't say anything to me about it. But at every level, they're not really making it a point to say, look, let's go work through some resume stuff. Right? For those hours that you're putting in the gym, let's go do some things here so you can also have some things prepared just in case things don't go right this way. A lot of us are left to figure that out on their own, right? Like I'm blessed to have, if I wanted to coach basketball, I got the bookends that can help me push into that space, right? Between you, Uncle Ro, Coach Thomas, Coach Jones, I got this space. Yeah, Vash, Morello. Like I got this space to where I call my guys and I'm like, I want to coach. Show me the ropes. I could do that, right? But everybody doesn't have that, right? So when you don't have that and when you don't have anybody pushing you into a place to where if basketball doesn't work, what can I do? How do I do it? Because basketball becomes our identity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you become like, oh, that's the hooper. That's the guy. You got a certain walk, you got different things. So when the air is out and it's done, and like you said, the real world is real.
It's real, man.
Like, and that right there is not going to be your safe haven. And nobody prepared you for that. And as a man, you got to take care of things. Like, where we going to go? So you're going to coach, understand that responsibility, right? And take it with a sense of pride, like the OG said. Now, what coaching, right? It is that one part with managing personalities, molding young men.
Right.
When we talk about basketball, right? Talking about wins and losses. Great players get you wins. Great players get you wins, right? And we've been around many coaches, many teams that have had great players. And, we call them front runners. When they're at the top, when you got your three-headed monster, when you got your KD, Steph, Clay, you all talk. You high horse, right? But what about those teams that don't have great players or those coaches that lose those great players and now they're struggling, right? And it's a little bit different. Talk about what you've seen from those situations from guys that, when they had great players, they were at the forefront, chest poked out, they're talking crazy. They letting the press run a little extra long. They got their things set up nicely for the press, talking real good for the paper. But when they don't have those dogs, it's a little quiet over there.
Yeah. When you got a monster squad and you got a monster squad, that as a true coach, as a purist of the game, that's when you're the most quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You let your team, let your play, do the talking for you. You don't have to go out and promote anybody because everybody knows they're good. Everybody knows that guy's a future pro. And you recognize your strengths and weaknesses. You have a monster squad. Is it because you're a hell of a recruiter? You got a great staff. You worked really hard. You got a great work ethic. Or is it a situation where your babies grew up and it's their turn? But are you going to have that same energy when you're down?
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is, I've seen some guys, we've all seen it. When you're down, now they're not so quick to play anybody. Now they're not as talkative, and now it's everybody else's fault.
Right.
No, this kid just can't play. So, well, you recruited him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, are you willing to take the time to try to make them better? The way you start the season with a down year, should not be the way you end the season. You should be able to see growth throughout the year. And if you don't do that, then that means you're just waiting on the next group to come in and and praying that they can just get it done instantly.
Right.
And so, it says a lot about your character.
Right.
You're basically saying, you know what, I'm gonna save my energy on this.
Right.
So just get through the year.
Obviously, right, the difference between a team that had great players and the year after is that talent level is different. Right. So that's a clear difference. But now that you're here, I imagine that a coach that, is really serious about his craft, they may relish the moment to show, all right, this is what I can do. Right. So what is it that comes about? What is it that's shown when a coach that had a great team the year before with great players doesn't have those great players anymore? What does that next season show about them? What changes coaching-wise? What becomes the focus from your perspective? What changed? Because you've had to do that pro, and so what becomes the focus now?
It just, your focus is, what do I do to make the current personnel I have successful? And like, for example, if you have a mob squad, and you got a bunch of athletes, you can run and jump the whole game, you press and keep it up tempo. But if you don't have those athletes, now you got to slow the game down and get it muddy in there, get it dirty, and you win now with a little bit more X's and O's, a little more grit, and high IQ. Mm-hmm. So now your approach is, what do we do to scheme better? Mm. What do we do to enhance what my current players can do to elevate their level just a little bit more to be successful? What can I do to build their confidence? What can I do to galvanize this team to not live off what we did in the past and create our own destiny? Mm-hmm. So you got to really pay attention to detail with that.
What are those things, though? So, like, what specifically can you pull from? Because you got the experience for that. Can you pull from to say, my coaching style had to be like this for end game? Like, I had to go this way, because you can put that in a visual to where the year before I had these guys scoring juggernaut. This year I didn't.
Well, I mean, like I said, it just depends on your personnel. If you want to talk about experience, and I think I may know what you're talking about.
Oh, no, period. Even pro, college, whatever.
Anything. If you have a team that can't put the ball in the hole, mm-hmm. You got to emphasize not turning the ball over, controlling the pace, and getting stops. Mm-hmm. If you got a team that you went from having a team that is real high IQ to a team that a little bit more inexperienced. So now, you got to dumb it down just a little bit more and give them a little bit more freedom to play through their mistakes. Mm-hmm. So it just depends on exactly what you have. You may have, you may go from a great rebounding team to a team that struggles with rebounding. Mm-hmm. So what do you do now? Now you emphasize gang rebounding, all 5 guys in the paint rebounding. Now we talk about like choking off the ball a little bit more now, because we don't have the size in the interior to
what does that mean?
Protect the rim. Choking off the ball means basically like cutting head off the snake. Okay. Who's their best ball handler? Who's the guy that makes them go? Mm-hmm. This guy over here may be the best scorer, but who's the general on the floor? Mm. Who's the guy that we can disrupt and slow down a little bit? That's going to disrupt their whole offense. Because if we can disrupt him a little bit, then we'll keep him from getting as many touches. Mm-hmm. And the other guys won't be able to feed off the head in terms of being successful. So it just depends on, your whole philosophy changes according to what you have coming through the door. That's why you talk about on the high school level, private school, you can go out and get the kids you want. Right. Public school, whatever comes through the door, you got to deal with it. Mm-hmm. So you got to be able to change on the fly. Right. Your philosophy may be, coaching a particular way for the past 5 or 6 years, but you got to throw that out the window if you're trying to win and do right by those kids. You got to coach them accordingly.
Right. So that's on court. Of course, you probably using timeouts more, try managing the time on the court more.
You heard us say slow the game down. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, you gotta like be more specific with that, because I don't think people understand the actual use of timeouts and how, like, I remember I had a coach an OG telling me a story about how he was watching somebody who was really, really good at player development, but wanted to eventually become a coach and thought he could coach and was kind of carrying himself like that. And he was watching him play and him run the team and realized that he went into the fourth quarter, last 2 minutes with all of his timeouts. And he hadn't used one timeout, and they had lost a 15-point lead and ended up losing the game, and he ended the game with all of his timeouts. Right. And then he was like, at that moment, I was like, oh shit, so-and-so can't coach.
That's not true. You know, the reason I say it is because everybody has a different philosophy, because I know some guys who are very, very successful who don't burn their timeouts that way. You know, because here's the one thing, it's all, how can I say it? There's always a case where if something doesn't work, somebody says, "Oh, see, you should have done this because that's what everybody else does." That's not necessarily the case. The guys who are the trendsetters, so to speak, in the coaching community are often guys who are willing to take risks.
Right.
So, you know, the thing is, when you get ready to take that risk, if it's something that you truly believe in, something that you've gotten your team to buy into, and something that you've worked on, you've practiced, then it can work. But you have to coach what's in here. If you're coaching because someone in the stands or someone in the administration is telling you to coach a certain way, you won't be able to get it done because you don't feel as though it's right.
Well, I understand that, but this specifically is, he was asked later after talking to him, he was like, yo, you know, you had timeouts to use. He says, timeouts? What are those? Like he wasn't aware. He wasn't aware of the timeouts, period. He was looking around like, oh. Like it wasn't like I want them to work through it. I want them to learn through it. It wasn't in that type of situation. It was like in game, everybody can do skill development, but you know, watching the ebbs and flow of the games, understanding what my team is.
If he didn't call a timeout and he didn't know that he had, I mean, that's a fault on him. 2, it's a fault on his staff.
Yeah.
And 3, it's a fault on like whoever the leaders of the team were.
Right.
Now, you know, because I know I've been in a situation where I started out in a game or two on the professional level, and we were just BSing out there.
Right.
And I was like, man, you know what? I am not wasting my time, my breath. We're gonna get this game over. We're gonna get out of here. I said, because no matter what I say, if you ain't gonna play hard, it doesn't matter.
It's like prep school level too. They need high college.
And so, you know, someone was saying to me, you know, like, you know, why didn't you call a timeout? I said, I didn't want to give them the answer because I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus because, you know, that's your squad. You know what I mean? But I said, I let it roll because it wasn't our night. I mean, no matter what we did, it wasn't our night.
Yeah.
You know, and then so as we went on through the season, of course, when you start to get certain guys that understand kind of what you want to do, then that's a little different. Then, you know, you use timeouts and things like that to manage the clock and stuff. But it just depends on your team, because I know I've seen people where a situation where everybody else will call timeout, and this particular person had a rapport with his players, and they had an understanding of, nah, we ain't calling timeout in this. You know, we're gonna catch them off guard. We getting a quick one on this. So it just depends on the coach and your team. But that particular situation you're talking about, that's somebody who just they're oblivious to what's going on at all.
And that's what I'm saying. So people talk about going into coaching. We talked about off the court coaching. You got to understand you're building, you know, you're mentoring, you're building youth and making them into adults, right? Well, on the court, people think, you know, it's just subbing. It's just subbing, yelling, getting them hyped up, you know, making these adjustments here, when you really got to have a great feel of tempo, right? The pace. When the scales are being tipped too far over to one side and you don't have that one player that can calm the storm for you guys, and you got to throw in a wrinkle here. Or if you don't have to call a timeout, but you can call from the bench, hey, it's time to pull out blue 6. Right? And I don't think people get time to really sit down and see like, oh, this is how this goes. Like, how do I build up to get to this space, right? I don't think Luke Walton did that shit.
There you go.
Get him out of here, man.
Killing Luke, man.
Because, you know, those are some of the philosophy stuff. I mean, I've never really sat down with you and talked about philosophy with things. You just know that I pay so much attention to basketball, period, on my own, and that's how it goes. But if somebody's talking about I want to be a coach, and we gave them the breakdown of how it is off the court, well, on the court. Like, what is it that they have to keep in mind when it's time in between the lines and it's jump ball? What are you doing while you're sitting there? Just from your perspective and what you've learned.
Well, I'm sitting as the coach.
The head coach. And you're the guy from what you've learned from Fang, from who you've played for, and what you use now to where it's like, all right, this is my style of play.
You know, I've been asked that question so many times in interviews, and I hate that question. Only from my standpoint is because I don't have a particular style of play because I coach according to what I got.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you said it all the time.
I like, you can't be confined to one way. Like, you know, for example, there's, you know, some people we know that are super successful coaching one style of play,
right.
but they're able to recruit those types of players. I've never had that luxury.
Well, let me give you this question then.
Go ahead.
Where do you think you thrive the best in? Right? If you get that luxury to where you can pick where it is that you want to go with your system, where do you strive the best?
I think I strive best when if I have a lot of talent in terms of people that can make plays, because I'm the type, I like to give players freedom, and you know, I like people to you know, play through their mistakes sometimes, and just feel comfortable, but you know, of course, play within the realm of what you know we're trying to do as a team. But I like guys who we can coach on the fly and we can change up at a moment's notice. You know, I like players that are, how can I say, very versatile. Like for me, I'd rather have 5 guys on the floor that could play, you know, 3 or 4 positions than have a traditional point, traditional 5. I like to mix it up just because I feel like I can do more.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I always like to have everything free flowing, because I feel as though I shouldn't have to come down. I shouldn't have to tell you each time to come down what play we're going to run. I shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to, based on what we've gone over in scouting report, based on how we practice, you should be able to see what we need to run and who needs to touch the ball.
Okay. See, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a roster together with 12 players from the league, all right? And I'm going to, you know, show it to you on air and let you tell me what will be your philosophy with this group, go offense and defense, and then we'll shuffle through to see how that'll go.
You know, I'm gonna be a little biased though, right?
No, I'm gonna pick the players.
No, I'm saying, like, because you know today's players, like, there's a lot of guys who are supposed to be versatile, but they take their versatility too far. Like here's your scale of versatility.
Show them they roll. 1
is here, a scale of 1 meaning less versatility. 10 meaning, you know, a lot of versatility. And some people think they're over here. No. You could be here and still be very effective. That, you know, just because you're 6'7", you know, 220, you got bounce and you can handle a little bit, that mean you should be shooting from the logo.
True, right. Or running pick and roll.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's facts. And, you know, sometimes you get into, but we're going to get back to that because that'll be interesting to see, you know, kind of how you build a philosophy on the go. Well, when you talk about somebody playing outside of their role, you know, that frustrates coaches, but your teammates can feel it too.
Oh, for sure.
You know, there's been several moments of teams that I've been around or played against to where, you know, we've heard stories of, you know, coach can't get the message to you that you playing a little wild, but we gonna get it to you. we gonna sit down and we gonna figure this out mano y mano. You know, you coined the term locker room justice. Locker room justice. You know, that happens several different ways. You know, I've been one to be honest with teammates. You know, and you know, even in prep school, we had our own little scraps in practice and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes that's the best way to solve things. If you locker room justice, I'll let you give, you know, the people a little insight and visual on what that is.
Well, locker room justice is, I'm gonna say it. It's a situation where, as a coaching staff, you allow the team to take holding someone accountable, themselves as a team, as a group, because, there probably has been some consequences or something that were brought upon the team as a whole based on one or two individuals. And we all know that's not fair, but life's not fair. You're a part of a team. So, knowing the personality of your coach, knowing that your coach may be old school or your coach may be new school, whatever, how far you can go. And, you have to take moments where little pockets of time where you can take matters in your own hands and set somebody straight. Because if 9 people are going this way and one person is going this way, and there's a problem with the big dog, which is the coach, you guys got to get this guy straight, or either he either straightens up or he gets out. That's just bottom line. I'm not saying, do anything crazy, but you got to set the tone in the locker room so that person knows that whatever I do out here on the court for all to see, I'm safe. This is my safe space. I get in that locker room. Yeah, I ain't so safe, so I need to tighten up a little bit.
Man, listen. What's interesting is, like, it's several ways that can happen, right? It's several things that happen within that, because locker room justice also means that, something happened, and before it gets to coach, you guys solve the issue first. Yeah. And, and you just tell coach, look, we got to solve. You just tell the people this. I'm thinking of something specific, right? Because there's a bunch of different things that happen. But I remember my senior year of college, right? My senior year of college, we had a team that had like 9 freshmen, right? It was 9 freshmen, then like 6 of us seniors, right? And then like a couple, sophomores in between. And so, that right there, a big age gap, big maturity gap, a bunch of different things. So we're slated to be top 4 in our conference and all this other stuff. Around this time, maybe it might be around this time right here. So I'm living off campus now. I got an apartment off campus. Me and my guy James, we got apartments. We seniors now, so we coming on the campus for practice. It's different, right? We got cars and everything. So what we always did was we let our apartment be the place where everybody can come kick it. So if anybody was going to do anything wild or whatever, like, at least we'll be right there, so we stay out of trouble, because we knew how to navigate the town. Like, where to go, where not to go. And our apartment was just in the cut enough to where nobody get in trouble for anything, right? And so we always tell people, look, we got the car. If y'all too drunk or whatever, call us. If there's some issues with stuff, call us, right? So this particular night, we old now. We washed. We don't really do nothing. They don't excite us to go out. So we chilling. We going to bed because we got to practice in the morning early. And I get a call like 1 a.m., right? And my man Skull hit me from Richmond. Skull went to Virginia Union and then transferred to EMU. And he went to Highland Springs and all that too. It's my dog. Program. That's my dog. He hit me. He's like, yo, y'all gotta come get me. And Skull don't really, when Skull call, I'm like,
hold on, what's his name?
Marcel. Like, we call him Skull though.
Skull though.
No, Skull, like SCO.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Skull. I'm like, that's Skull, right? And so, right, he a rapper. I played him for you Monday night. Shout out to Monday night. He get busy. So he called. He's like, yo. So immediately I'm like, we gotta get ready to scrap. Something happened. He's like, yo, I'm at the bus stop. So and so outside of there. Yo, come get me. And I'm like, what's going on? So I go wake up James. I'm like, bro, we got Skull hit us. We got to go make a move. And we both get up because we like, if he hit us, something wrong, right? So we go pick him up, get in the car. He's like, yo, these young it's crazy. I said, what was you talking about? He said, one of the freshmen, one of the sophomores got into like a fight over somebody's girlfriend on the team. And ended up punching some glass, breaking a hand, wilding out, going crazy. The girl go crazy and everything. So he like, what? we got a couple players on the team. Everybody drunk, a couple of them underage drunk. They walking down the hills. And, you can't just be walking around in College City just drunk, like blood hanging out and everything. Be like, what you mean? So we pick up Skull and somebody go get somebody else. I'm like, yo, what happened? So we got an early morning practice the next morning, right? So one of the freshman kid come in there. We on the same team, so you can't hide from each other. So we like, he got his hand wrapped. One kid over there sitting in the corner. And I'm like, man, when we go out here for practice, we ain't gonna be able to hide this energy. So I'm like, yo, y'all sit right here. So I go out, talk to our coach. I'm like, look, this is a situation. This is what happened. I said, we're gonna handle it in-house. All right? We're gonna handle it in-house. You just tell the people that blah, 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 blah happened. He looked at me, he said, you make sure that shit handled. If we're arguing over the girls, it's not going to happen. So we get in there, we hash it out. We like, look, y'all don't have to like each other. We don't care. But in this locker room, we don't fight over women. You know what I'm saying? If you stay off guard and that's his, it goes, we good. We're going to go out here. I told coach, this is what happened. Y'all are good. Y'all probably got to do some running or something. If anybody asks, y'all this and that or whatever. But this is a wrap right here. But I was like, man, one time, we woke up, there's blood everywhere, glass broken. We like, yo, like, all the same team.
Scrappers.
Man, over a woman. I was like, yeah, we got to fall. But Kirby was like, look, y'all handle it. If you say it's handled, I'm going to let you take care of it. Because if I got to do it, tell them what we going to get into. And I'm like, yeah, we not having none of that happen. But we get a little lucky sometimes. I mean, I know you probably had some wilder ones.
No, I was pretty reserved.
Shut up, man. Yeah. You're alive, man.
Yeah, pretty reserved.
No, man, but that was a tough one. But that concludes today's episode. It was a solid one again. We making our way. Shout out to all the people that were engaging with us. Sharing our content. People were saying that they were enjoying the stories and the info we were sharing. We appreciate that. More of that is coming. More opportunities soon for people to come ask questions, pick the brain of the basketball mind here and just talk your shit, right? But as always, post-game wrap-up, episode 4, wrapping it up. What you got for us?
I want to keep it basketball again. This again, since we are Hoop Bound Dubai, this is for our players since we just had a big tournament this past Friday. And, we had a lot of individuals who were, upset for several hours after the tournament, rightfully so, because you put a lot of work in, you get emotional and you want to win. You get disappointed when you don't win. And so sometimes, we all, we handle, things a little differently. And so, this is for you guys that, weren't as successful, but I want you to understand this from the words of the great Too Short. Get in where you fit in. Know what you can do and try to do it as best you can. Whatever you can do to help your team be successful, that's what you do. For those of our players and friends and other people that have been around us before on different levels, do whatever is best for you to get on the floor to play. Don't worry about the other stuff. That will take care of itself. Get on the floor first and stay on the floor as long as you can. And that's by doing the little things that you know that you can take care of. The other stuff that looks good, as somebody asked you the other day, Coach, can you show me a step back 3? Remember that? And, this person, is struggling to make a layup right now. So, yeah. let's work on the things that, we can improve on, at a faster pace and build our confidence and just do what we do for right now. And, the other stuff will come.
Right. Exactly. What I have to say, I think correlates there as well. Don't worry about the acknowledgement or the credit. Pay your dues, put your work in. What's for you is going to come. You can never cheat the grind. It may not come when you think it's going to come or when you think it should come, but just keep your head steady, keep going, keep working, but don't worry about the acknowledgement or the credit. Because even for the ones that you think are getting the shine for that, if they're not putting that work in, it's going to crumble. It's going to fall. So you just keep steady, keep working, pay all of your dues, and it's going to come your way. Don't worry about anybody else giving you, the shine that you need. You're going to get yours. Just keep going. How we ended out episode 4, Bridgin The Gap. If you're in Dubai, Hoop Mountain DXB, hoopmountain.ae. Bridgin The Gap, baby. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We there. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all those. Check us out. Lock in. Peace.